Howdy, everybody. Is everybody doing well? You know, I've noticed that with the change they've made, so it's basically that they've added it so that you can tag people using their handle on YouTube. Yeah, it's hard for me to find certain people in the comments now, and it's hard for me to know who's making comments on things because it'll show the @ and then a bunch of letters and random orders. Some people it still shows a name. Yeah, I don't know. And howdy, everybody. She's late because
I am not late. I was in here already, as noted by my cup already being in here. Don't listen to Shannon. He's a brat.
She had to.
Pardon me?
Because, you know.
Yes?
There's times that people are late with things. And sometimes it's the wife that's late.
It's almost always you. But, no. I had to run and show my
the Christmas tree
blind children where something was. Because being that they're both teenage boys, they couldn't find a Herkin bin. It was exactly where I told them.
Did it have Herkin written on it? Because you have to write Herkin on there or they're not going to know what it is.
I know.
Oh, you have to embiggen it.
I need to be able to see the words. I cannot see the letters when it's that small.
Should the Canucks sell and go for Bedard? I think they're already kind of sort of going for Bedard, not intentionally. I really don't want them to lose Horvat. I really would rather not lose Kuzmenko either. I think, Besser's a healthy scratch tonight. I could see him being on the trade block. Garland, I think, is on the trade block. And if anybody wanted that OEL contract, I think they'd listen.
Thanks for the great content. Much appreciated. Oh, somebody was asking when you were going to do another one of those driveway videos.
Well, we do. I think we have more fun spots around here than we had at the other place.
We have what?
More fun spots around here where I could do something like that than we had at the old place. I don't think it has to be in the driveway.
Right.
So
you could just join in with the neighbor kids and do street hockey.
Do it in the park. I could put on rubber boots and recreate great moments with like that field when it's really saturated.
That'd be super entertaining.
It's like ice, but melted. See?
It's called the swamp.
Either way, swamp, ice surface.
Why no unboxing videos? There are 2 unboxing videos, but they are.
I did them for members and patrons. It felt like, when I do the unboxing videos with the reverse retros, there was always the comments about, oh, must be nice, and I understand that. So I thought, you know what, I'll do it for members and patrons this year. I'm trying to make sure that for members and patrons, there's a little more content. And so I'll be getting the rest of that. The reverse retros should be on Tuesday. And then I will be doing another ranking of them when I have all of them and discuss which ones I like and which ones I don't and why.
What are the odds Bedard is a bust? Random thought.
No. Bedard, his numbers are just absolutely fantastic. The question right now is, does he stay in Regina or not? Because there's some rumblings about whether or not he's going to get traded in the WHL. I cannot remember anybody ever caring about a guy getting traded in the CHL, but here we are.
Moved Trouba technique, an acceptable element of more physical hockey style, or an unacceptable dangerous maneuver that warrants a reevaluation of NHL rules governing contact.
I haven't seen Trouba cross the line this year. I know there were a couple last year that skirted it. I don't think there's a way to get the hits that he throws out of the game without dramatically altering the game itself. And I don't think the NHL has any desire to do that.
Is Seattle actually really good? Or are they the Ducks last season? They were first in the Pacific halfway through the season.
One difference between them and the Ducks, there were some reasons that they were playing well. With Seattle, their shot suppression is really good. As long as they're suppressing those shots against, and they're preventing those really good opportunities for the opposition, they can stay in these games. They can win their share of games. I think they're for real.
This room is not dark enough without lights on to see the glow in the dark. Once it's like after 3:00, it's dark enough in here. It gets really dark.
I guess we could do a time lapse. Just stand me outside.
It does glow
And then you
really
take a picture
well,
every
though.
15 minutes, and eventually you just see the jersey.
That sounds like a super fun day.
So I stand outside. You just come out every 15 minutes and take a picture.
Cool.
I just stand there with
Yeah.
my arms out.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
And then you can take me to the hospital for hypothermia later.
Yes.
It's a whole day.
Hi, Shannon. Big fan. As a Rangers fan, watching his team with some dismay. I'm wondering what you think the issue is that's causing their inconsistency.
There's some chemistry issues up front. I think their blue line is solid. I think they'll be fine. And Igor Shesterkin is still saving goals above expected, but not anywhere near what he was last year. So they're going to have to adapt their game to the fact that Shesterkin right now looks like a good goaltender. Last year, he was absolutely fantastic.
Do the Avs end Boston's home undefeated streak tonight?
The longer the streak goes, the more likely it is to come to an end. I mean, it's already an NHL record. The Avs are a very good team. Boston, it's been a remarkable run. They don't really get behind. What Colorado needs to do if they want to win this game against Boston, get the lead early and then stay on them. And there hasn't really been a team that's been able to do that in Boston.
Shannon has done a video on his favorite logos.
Yes, I've done 2 different videos on my favorite logos. I haven't had a reason to update it because they've added Seattle, but it really there's no need for me to update it just because Seattle's in there. I like Seattle's logo. I mean, if I re-ranked them, it'd be different, but yeah.
Where are the cats? Maple's right there.
Maple's here because you're in here.
Yeah, she follows me.
There
were a bunch of cats just a second ago.
Azrael was in here too. I was playing with her.
He might have ran off. We've got Maple
Shadow
right there, though.
I mean, Cinnabon's down here somewhere.
She's on the other cat tree.
I'm not going to bother Cinnabon when she's on the other cat tree. No. Come on.
There's Maple.
There's a lot of dangerous things she can get into, and she gets into all of them, don't you? Yeah, she doesn't have any need for a human being to talk to her.
What do you talk about? She loves people.
Yeah, sure she
She's
does.
my bud. Could you see Detroit trading Nedeljkovic?
If there was a market for Nedeljkovic, I think they would consider it. Husso has been excellent as the starter. Nedeljkovic has had his struggles. I don't know how much of a market there is for him right now. Are you actually going to sit down and behave?
Yvonne has her own shadow now. I have 3 kitties that follow me all day long, and I'm not allowed to shut doors. And
it's really
they all
funny.
Have their spots.
So she goes in to have a shower at night, and there's 3 cats that are like,
I have to have the door open, otherwise one of them will start meowing.
Pixel goes nuts.
They have to follow me everywhere.
See, Shadow and Bear don't do that.
Everywhere.
The only time Bear's like that is when she's really insecure. And then I have to carry her everywhere, which is a Bear thing.
I don't have to carry anybody around, but they do follow me.
I do at times have to carry. And sometimes Shadow will bug me and I have to pick him up and carry him like a baby for a while.
Cats.
Shadow needs to be carried like a baby for a while and then he's okay. About 10 minutes and then I can put him down and he's fine. But he will bother me until he's picked up and carried around.
Your herd of cats sounds like a herd of toddlers. Azrael is absolutely a toddler.
Yep.
Absolutely a toddler.
I have to pick her up and put her to sleep because she'll be trying to play, but she's
falling
clumsy.
asleep. It's so
like
funny.
Today, I was playing the game with her. She fell off there twice. And then Bear, she startled Bear and knocked Bear off of it too. And I'm like, okay, you guys need to just stop because a cat's going to get hurt because they don't have time to brace themselves.
Yeah,
I want to be explaining that to the vet. Well, she got startled, so here we are. And that'll be $500. Thank you very much. That's an expensive startled cat.
New Jersey Devils thoughts.
They're legit. A very excellent, high-paced game they're playing. They are, I would argue, the most exciting team to watch right now. I do need to do a video on the 10 teams I'm most enjoying watching right now. New Jersey would be at or near the top of that list. They're really solid throughout their lineup. As long as they can avoid the kind of injury issues they had last year, they'll be fine. They're going to be one of the top seeds.
Do you have a jersey, a hat, and a lot of magnets of different sizes for every team, including the Kraken? Of course.
Oh, yeah. When Seattle was coming in, before they played their first game, I made sure I had magnets of every size. I made sure I had a T-shirt that was Seattle. I had a sweater that was an old Seattle Metropolitans that I got through. It's a company right out of Seattle too. As the name escapes me, but I'll think of it later. But they make all the old sweaters. Like they've got like a Saskatoon Sheiks one, and I'm like, where would I wear that? Like it looks fun, but when would I wear that? Where would I wear that? So like they've got like Flin Flon Bombers. I'm like, when would I wear a Flin Flon Bombers jersey sweater? They are sweaters.
How many jerseys does Shannon have now? It's a lot. I have almost 3,000. Yeah, Shannon doesn't have any word.
4, 5, 6, 7.
We don't know.
8.
We don't know because we don't even
She
count all of them.
distracted me. I was
Right,
pretty
that's
sure
it.
I had it all figured out.
Right. Yeah, we haven't ever counted.
Nah.
Well, we have different ones. So we have all of these, but then there's
Geeky jerseys.
yeah, and then there's all the European jerseys,
Yep.
the fashion jerseys.
Yep. The All-Star jerseys.
Yeah, the AHL and all of those.
Well, the AHL are in here. The AHL I did
Are all
put
of
in
them
here.
in here now?
All the AHL
'Cause I
ones
thought
should be in
somewhere
here.
the other room.
They
And then
shouldn't
we
be.
have the jerseys that are all different sizes and such that we sometimes take to meetups and
The old
whatnot.
Reeboks. The Reeboks that
And
I
the
replaced
larger
a lot of the
ones.
old, yeah.
because
and
we end up having
the XL,
like
double XL, the
large
ones
and
that
extra
don't
large
fit.
jerseys.
Yeah.
And so we take those to
So
meetups.
those go to the meetups,
Yeah.
which will start again in April.
Detroit's schedule in December is pretty daunting. If they come out of December with a playoff position, do you like their odds of making the playoffs?
Yes. This is a tough schedule, especially middle and towards the end of the month. It's going to be a tough schedule, and it's going to be a tough schedule for them, for Montreal too. Two teams that are in the mix. I like Detroit's chances better, but this is the stretch that will tell us how for real Detroit is. Detroit's had an ability to get points against the teams they should beat. Now we'll see how they do against the teams that are above them.
Thanks for what you do for hockey. Love your videos.
Thank you.
Who do you put into the Hall of Fame from the Hockey Guy Hall of Fame? For me, is Osgood.
Osgood would probably be the one that I think is the most egregious, but McGillney as well. Between McGillney and Osgood, although McGillney has a chance of getting in next year, it's not the strongest crop next year. It's possible that McGillney gets in, but yeah, I would be happy with McGillney or Osgood. Osgood was very underrated.
Does the wife enjoy hockey as much as Shannon? As much as Shannon? That's not a thing. Do we watch games together? On rare occasion, because I don't like watching 12 games at a time. I like watching one game at a time.
Like at 4:00, there's 7 games. At 4:30, there's an 8th. So I'm scrolling between games. She doesn't enjoy that.
I usually watch hockey games in a different room unless there is one game on. Then I will come in here and watch games with him.
Especially if it's Winnipeg.
Yes.
You didn't really have any interest in Anaheim, Minnesota today, though.
I knew I had errands that I needed to do, and I figured that would probably be a boring one.
It wasn't boring. That was a 5-4 shootout game.
And I'm going to be watching hockey later today anyways.
It was a long game. Like
I do go to the local hockey games.
Abby.
Yeah, a lot more often than Shannon does because I don't have to watch.
And they're doing the teddy bear toss tonight,
yes.
Which thanks because
don't worry, I got
said
stuffies.
During the review, instead of saying Troy Terry, I said teddy bear. So thanks.
There you go.
Because that was in my brain. So once you're old and something gets in your brain like that, it'll just randomly come out during the following conversation.
Yep.
So
that was one of my errands I had to do this morning was I had to go get stuffies for the teddy bear toss because
it's like this morning I wake up and I have safety dance stuck in my head. No reason why. It's just there.
How many devices do you watch hockey on at a time?
2. TV, I can do up to 6 on the TV, and then on the computer, if there's anything above that. The most that I could, watching is a really, it's using that term to its max. It's more of a trying to keep up with everything that's going on. I can do that with about 10 games. Anything past 10, forget it. The schedule in November was ridiculous. It's not as bad during December. It's not going to be as daunting.
Why isn't NHL infatuated with every team playing every other team twice a year? I think teams should be playing 6 games against the division minimum?
That's because of owners. The owners didn't like it. The NHL did have a schedule for a while there where you only played against the other conference once a year. They didn't like it because for teams in Canada, they always want Montreal and Toronto coming in at least once a year, West or East, they don't care. And so it really was the owners that didn't want it to be less than 2 games against the other conference. And now we're at 32 teams. I honestly think that if they did away with interconference play, I think people would be mad at first, but I think it'll be kind of fun to see hockey that way. It's not going to happen.
Oh, do I like the Smashing Pumpkins? I don't mind them. I do have a couple.
I really
of their
like that new song of
albums.
theirs.
Their new music is pretty good. It's
that new song of theirs really
Smashing
sounds very
Pumpkin, but
ghost-like.
it's more,
It's and I love Ghost.
It's
so
a bit.
It's heavy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a bit harder.
Yeah, it's
than
heavier.
Some of their old stuff. Yeah.
That's because the lead singer's been around wrestling for too long now, so he's got.
They're kind of old. I mean, we're old, but they're older, so. I listened to Smashing Pumpkins when I was in high school.
I listened to Smashing Pumpkins when I wasn't in high school. I'd already graduated. I never had their albums, though. I think a friend of mine had that Melancholy and the Labrador of Sadness, whatever the heck that was.
How many hours on average do you work a day? Shannon works a lot.
Depends on the day. And it depends on which videos I'm doing as well. I've been trying to balance things out a little bit better lately. But I always am pushing myself. So
it's a lot.
There's a lot of times too that I'll start doing like research for a video and I'll start putting a board together and then I go, well, that doesn't work. Like last night, I thought, here's a 32 team idea, and I'll throw this out there publicly. I wanted to pick one player for each team that they regret losing. They may have lost him for cap reasons. They may have lost him for, to free agency, whatever it is, or maybe it was a trade that they may regret now. Some teams I was able to find 4, 5, 6 different players. Some teams I couldn't find anybody. So I was like, wow, there's some teams that really have some regrets right now, either because their cap management led to a situation where they lost a bunch of players or they just made some iffy deals. So, but I'm going to come back to it and figure out a way because I don't want to seem like I'm picking on. The Blues was one that came up a lot. I was like, wow, the Blues have really lost a lot of guys that are pretty key. But anyways.
Oh, do you feel stress on nights with a lot of games to take a bunch of notes for the recap? He sure does.
It can be. Once you get to there's a 16 game day in April. Yeah, good luck. It's just, but the thing is that I don't stress about it as much as I used to 4 years ago. It really bothered me when I couldn't keep up because I would obsess on making sure I caught absolutely anything of consequence in any game. And I had to let that go because I'm one person and I had to let that go that I can't catch absolutely everything all the time. That's why during, when it's a busy night, I'll always say there's going to be stuff that gets missed and I apologize. And then I go right into the recap.
Still comments about what he missed. Not understanding he is one person.
If I did, one thing people mention is, well, you could watch the condensed games, right? But each condensed game is about 4 minutes. So if there's 15 games on or 14 games on, that 4-minute video, now it's an extra hour before I even start recording. And then I'm going to have to put more notes on each game and it's going to mess up the whole boards. So it doesn't work. So I've got a system. I have to stick with that because otherwise it creates too much chaos.
And Shannon already puts way too much pressure on himself. He's really good at having high expectations for himself.
Well, we've been talking about that lately.
Yeah.
Even though the channel's doing well, I still in the back of my mind think it could be doing a lot better. There has to be a way for it to do a lot better. But I can't make trades happen and I can't make teams fire coaches. I've been trying to call through and they just keep hanging up on me. Can I get your coach fired? Hello?
Oh, what's on top of the Christmas tree? I did post a picture on Facebook so you can see the whole tree. I just put a star up on top.
My head on a pike. I don't understand.
You can't actually see it. Yeah, you can't see the whole tree. I did post pictures on Facebook though, so you can see. I don't think you can even see all of the ornaments in the picture I posted.
So the star is a little bit off kilter because it's a small tree, and
it's really hard for me to get it up there even with the stool. But it's not the best. But it has really fun ornaments.
You want me to fix it?
They fun? No.
You sure?
Yes.
What do you mean no?
No.
You don't trust me to fix a star at the top of a tree?
No, don't touch it.
You do understand that I was the one that used to decorate my tree. I'm really good at decorating Christmas trees. That was kind of a skill I learned from my mother.
It's my beautiful hockey tree.
But it got to the point
It's
where
really crowded though.
when I was a teenager, my mom and I, we would go out for like Christmas dinner at a friend of hers or whatever. But we would look at the Christmas tree that we were at, whoever we were visiting. And if there was a hole in that tree that we could see, there was a hole there where there's, it's not very well decorated. We would actually ask the people, can we fix your tree? Because it's driving us crazy. We need to fix your tree. While we're guests in somebody else's house, we're like, we need to fix this. Because my mom and I would talk and be like, it's driving us nuts. We need to fix the tree.
Oh, somebody asked about my jersey video. I was talking to Shannon just the other day about that.
Yep.
Yes, I will get to that. I need to.
One of yours has
jerseys
been ravaged by the kittens. The Line Jets jersey.
Oh yeah.
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 So that's why the fencing's not going anywhere. That's
right.
Staying in place. Because
it's not. It's actually the jersey's not too bad. Don't you worry.
But if that was one of mine,
right.
That was.
And it's one that I have another of that same jersey.
Yeah, it's a good thing I have two of them too.
It's
the blue aviator.
It was so cheap.
It's like $30 for a jersey.
The kids all got Line A jerseys.
Everybody gets the Line A jersey. Apparently, Winnipeg doesn't want them for some reason.
Would Trotz be a good fit in Ottawa if Smith is out?
I think that, okay, well, with Trotz, one thing that would change is they become a lot more defensive. So you'd be reining in Tkachuk and Stützle, might limit the scoring chances and bring their scoring down, but it would absolutely help them defensively. We'd see the goaltending numbers also come up a bit. I know the goaltending's been good already. It could work. I just don't know if he would. I mean, it would be a real challenge, and I think he likes the challenge. Might be an intriguing option for him if they offered it.
That looks like a sweater I had 93, 94. So this is an old sweatshirt of Shannon's.
Yeah,
I chopped it up.
I got that.
It was like a size large or something.
I got that
a big sweatshirt
a long time ago. That would have been around that time that I got that one.
It's one of the
I
old
had that one
sweatshirts.
given to me, but I think it was an XL.
It was really big.
And so I never wore it. So yeah,
I just cut it up and made it into something that fit.
And now the Canucks are re-releasing some of this stuff, but they're making sure they charge about $50-$60 for it. It's like, holy Lord.
Can we see all the reverse retro jerseys you have? Not in this live stream.
I have currently got 20 of the 32. What I'm going to do after it's done, there's two different video ideas I have. One, re-ranking from 32 through 1. I may do that with my phone because there's better detail with phone videos than there is with the webcam, even though this is 4K. And then I also want to do a video where I compare the first round and the second round. So here's what they did the first time. Here's what they did this time. And then we can see which teams improved with the reverse retro the second time and which ones didn't.
And which teams, both of them are lame.
So you're thinking of Detroit, aren't you? Or is it Chicago?
That too.
So it's not Winnipeg because Winnipeg hit it out of the park this time.
Yeah, there's this nice.
That one's fantastic.
The Preds seem to be on a bit of a roll. Do you see them making the playoffs?
They should. The West is not that strong. I think we saw that with Minnesota today. They shouldn't have had the problems with Anaheim that they did. They're still not quite getting on that roll. Nashville, I think, is playing better, and the fact that they won in New Jersey, they won against the New York Islanders. They've really come out of that funk they were in after the games in Prague. They should make the playoffs.
Of course, we tested how well that jersey glows in the dark.
That was one of the first things we did.
Got it.
It's weird because there's this.
The kids thought it was just amazing.
It has the glow in the dark as the outline, and then there's stars in here as well. But you can tell that this is something, never put it in a dryer. And honestly, I'm not going to wear this one very often because I don't want to get it dirty. I really don't want to have to wash this one hardly at all because I do worry about the fabric they use for the glow in the dark. I don't know how much that's going to withstand the day-to-day rigors if you wear it all the time. So, yeah.
I would think it would do pretty good, but you never put glow in the dark fabric in the dryer.
I've
had
glow in the dark
water.
I've had glow in the dark stuff before, and it can crack. So, yeah.
And Lars is on here doing a fantastic job linking videos that people are asking for.
Oh, good.
I see him.
I saw the one of how we met.
Yep, because somebody asked that. We met online dating. So that's how we met.
And then there's a video on it.
And then I see Lars also was linking our Discord. The Discord is in the description of all videos.
And then I also this week
which is kind of fun, especially for the game day chats.
I've been trying to get to watch as much of the World Cup as I can too. Argentina held on and beat Australia today. I was really hoping. That was so close last minute. It's like, oh, come on. Like Australia almost tied it last minute. That was so sad. But the Netherlands knocked out the Americans today 3-1 as well. That, yeah. Which did not surprise me. So far I'm 2 for 2, but those were pretty easy ones to predict.
What kind of tea do I have? It's a gingerbread chai. It's kind of fun, but I really like chai, so.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm. And I really like gingerbread, so they're both spices. I wore my sweater all the time. I wore number 10 in minor hockey and tucked one side in like beret. Great job, you two. Been a fan for a long time.
And Gretzky tucked his in too. That was something I want to say that beret did that too as sort of a nod to Gretzky. I think it's sad that now players aren't allowed to wear their jerseys that way. It almost feels like if you do something that's different, they want to stifle that so everybody looks the same. I didn't see that tucking a jersey in had any impact on being able to read the numbers or the name on the back. And I never heard a fan say, well, I can't take him seriously. Gretzky or not, he's got his jersey tucked in. What a loser. Like I never heard that. So it's weird.
All right. Oh, I had lemon lift. Lemon lift's pretty good. Our daughter really likes lemon tea with honey.
Saw somebody on watching my video on campus. I find that so weird.
A room tour. Can't really see much right now. There's boards and then we've got like a row of boards.
So because there's a draft off that wall,
blankets all over the
blankets everywhere. It looks very trailer parkish right now.
So this room,
try to keep this room
is a converted garage,
close to normal.
So it doesn't have the insulation that the rest of the house does.
No.
So
when I get up and come in here, it's like 7 degrees.
I've kind of covered this side of the room
with
Celsius, blankets.
But it's still cold.
So it's a lot of blankets. And then over here, we've got a lot of boards. The wall of boards.
Oh, yes.
It's like a row. So Shannon can stand in the row of boards.
It is so nice, though, being able to have 3 boards all side by side by side. It is so much easier for me to track multiple games now. It is just, this room is fantastic. Even though it's cold, it's still fantastic.
Any ideas on getting NHL tickets? If you're looking for discounted tickets, you can look on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, because then you can find the people that have the season tickets and they aren't going to a game. And so sometimes you can get cheaper.
On the day of the game, there will always be season ticket holders that are looking to move
We've
tickets.
done that before and we've got pretty good deals on tickets.
I think that first Boston game we went to, weren't the tickets like $20 each?
It was something like that. It was something cheap. Because the season ticket holders are able to buy them for significantly cheaper, and by selling them, they're making something as opposed to just not going. So
true.
The 1 year, I'm kind of okay with Boston falling back slightly for a good rookie, and they go on a historical start. Probably will end with this stretch, though.
Boston, at the very least, has solidified themselves at the very least a playoff team. One of the favorites right now. There are a couple of things I wonder about with the Bruins. One is, in the playoffs, can Ullmark or Swayman put together, multiple rounds of hockey where they're better than the goalie at the other end? I don't know the answer to that. They don't have the resume for that. And I do still have some concerns about their depth on the blue line. I know how well they're playing. I know how good they look right now, but I do have a couple of minor concerns.
We are in Canada. We live in BC. We're about an hour outside of Vancouver.
Depending on traffic.
Of course, depending on traffic.
When we went to the Canucks game a couple weeks ago, we were about 4 hours out of Vancouver.
Oh my gosh. That was awful.
Yeah, we left from here and it was supposed to be an hour and 15 minutes, and it just kept going up.
Forever.
It still said an hour and 11 minutes when we were through Langley, and I was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad.
Somebody asked if we'd been to the peony. Yeah.
I've driven past the peony so
many times.
She's been to the peony. I've never bothered.
Would Canada have gone out of the group if they'd won their last qualifier in Panama and been placed into pot 3? 2026 3-team groups bad for Canada?
I don't know. I don't know that they would have done any better. I think honestly for Canada, they're the 41st ranked country in the world going into that World Cup, and they were against a group of three countries that were ranked higher than them. So the results really aren't that much of a surprise to me. 2026, it should be better. The 3-team groups, I hate that idea. Whoever decided, I'm going to do a video on the Entertainment Guy on this. It is a terrible idea to have 3-team groups. I understand the idea behind it, but I think it's an awful idea, and I really hope they reconsider it.
After visiting LA, do you guys think it's an overrated city?
I wouldn't say overrated city. Muscle Beach is much smaller than I thought it would be. I was
not a fan.
Like when I heard Muscle Beach, I was like, so this has got to be like a whole beach. No, it's this really
like the
small,
tiniest little park
area.
Like it's smaller
and then
than
there's
any
the
of
skate
the
park's bigger.
Here.
The skate park's bigger than that. I don't know. I mean, LA has its moments. It was fun to walk on the piers and out along the ocean.
Yeah,
and all
I
that.
did enjoy walking along there, but
and now my skin's permanently colored from the sunburn that I got that day. So I always have a reminder every day. I look down at my calves and go, oh, I remember LA.
It's true. It's kind of fun
so
walking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a fan, but me.
It's a lot of people in an area that doesn't seem to be big enough for
a lot
all the people
of
that
really
are in it.
angry people. So, not just full of people.
I think that's what it is. I think they're overstuffed
angry
into a smaller
people.
area than it
Everybody was so mad about everything.
You only need to honk your horn once. They heard you. You don't need to honk your horn 56 million times.
Bizarre.
Because by the 50th time, you're just making everybody angry. Honk once, and then hum yourself a song, maybe a show tune, HMS Pinafore. There's lots of songs you can sing from that, and just enjoy yourself and don't
chill. You guys are on the beach. Man, that is so not the view I had been told of LA in California in general.
Very angry.
Yeah.
Very angry.
It was different, but
which we haven't seen in Vegas. I haven't seen that kind of thing in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. No,
that level of anger.
Okay, so there are a few questions we've received several times, so I will just address them very, very quick. Unboxing videos of reverse retros. Shannon has done 2 so far. He will do 1 more. He's doing them for patrons and members.
Yes,
so that they have some videos that are just for them, and then we don't have to deal with the comments as much. There's also been a lot of people asking when you'll go on Steve Dangle again. That's not up to Shannon.
Yeah, they haven't
That's
asked.
up to them. They invite him.
There was an invite. There was an invite that I got from Adam, and then I said sure, and then he didn't get back to me. So I think it was a time thing. I think they wanted me for a certain episode, and then I didn't get back to them in enough time. I did leave a comment on their video yesterday.
So. When they do them, it's really early our time.
Yeah, they're usually looking at, hey, can you pop on at 9 o'clock? Well, 9 o'clock for them is 6 a.m. for me.
And that's just
so my answer to that's usually the 6 in the morning. I mean, I can be awake, but I remember really I used to do videos when I woke up. I just get up and come in here and do videos. Well, not in here, but in the old house, I would do videos, and people are like, is he stoned? Is he hungover? What is wrong with him? I just got up. So my eyes are kind of, baggy, and I'm kind of yawny, and I'm kind of, not really awake yet. And then there'd be a lot of comments. So I make sure I have to be up for a while before I do a video, or else I know the comments.
And 6 is really early after he's watched all the games and then done the review video. And then we have to wait for that to go up and all of that. So he doesn't even generally get to our bedroom till like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
6 would be really early.
Yeah. I'll just go in and tell her, you can just watch a movie. Don't worry. You can watch whatever you'd like right now, because I'm not going to be in here for a while.
True. Joe Juno career video?
Eventually, yes. Career videos I've put on hold because There's not a lot of views of them during the off season. There's even less during the season. So I want to make sure they get the proper amount of attention. So eventually, yes.
Unpopular opinion, the league should be 4-on-4.
Ideally, if you were starting a league now, 4-on-4 would make some sense. The one thing is that would put a lot of hockey players out of work. And so union would never go for that, even if the NHL wanted it.
What's your wish from Santa Claus?
I think I've already got it right here.
Good answer. Good answer.
Right here.
I don't think that's what you were intending to say.
Because then I don't have to worry about anything because she just takes care of it. She's so nice to me. And when I don't like something, she changes for me. So that's nice.
I do no such thing.
You know I'll put my foot down, though.
I don't care. That's not how it works.
Sure it is.
It's really, really not. Thoughts on exactly what Chuck Fletcher's plan is in Philly? I'm from Philly, and no one really seems to know the plan around here.
The plan seemed to be to make the team better and get them back into the playoffs this year by hiring John Tortorella and making some minor changes. It has not worked. I don't know that there is a plan in Philly right now. They need to embrace a rebuild and sell some assets. Now, they did some of that with Giroux last year, but they haven't really fully committed to the idea of a rebuild, and they need it. They absolutely do need it. There's issues with their attack. There's issue with the defense. You can see the frustration from Tortorella, but I think he's getting the most out of the roster that you're going to.
Shannon wears the pants in the relationship. That's because I generally wear leggings. I wear the leggings in the relationship, and he wears the pants.
I consider it
or
more
joggers. He wears the joggers in the relationship.
We both do wear pants in the relationship because it's weird if you're pantsless.
It'd be colder. It'd be a lot colder,
especially in December.
I
Where's
usually
your pants?
wear a few
Wife's
pairs because it's really cold.
It'd be weird at a meetup. Why aren't you wearing pants? Yvonne's got them in the van. Apparently she wears the pants today, so I'm not even allowed to have them.
Oh,
see the shortest meetup we ever had.
Okay. Anyways. Oh, somebody asked when we were going to a Seattle game. It's tricky.
It's not going to be this year. It's not going to be this season.
It's hard enough for us to go to Vancouver games.
I'm only able to get to 2 games in Vancouver. I haven't been to a game in Abbotsford yet, so it's outside the realm of possibility for this year.
Seattle is quite a trek through an international border.
As a fan of both
Seattle
teams,
traffic.
Has the success of the Bruins or the Stars surprised you more? The Stars have surprised me more because when he didn't actually get into training camp and all of that, I thought, well, it'll probably take Robertson a little while to get adjusted. Nope. So yeah, Dallas has positively surprised me more. World Cup draw stream for 2026. December sometime 2025. I mean, sure, if there's no hockey, I can definitely do a live stream for that because they do the drawings of which teams are in which groups.
Right.
Yeah, we can do that.
You share pants. Sure, why not?
We can.
I mean, if he wants to wear my leggings, I don't mind.
Wear those to a meetup. It'll be a short one too. That's what the flowery leggings.
Legs.
I don't think
do I own flowery leggings?
I don't know the people
do I have any leggings with flowers? Oh, I have one pair.
The sparkly ones. The black ones with the sparkly on the outside.
Most of my leggings don't have flowers. I have several with like skulls on them.
There you go.
I think the 2024 Winter Classics will be Isles Rangers at Belmont Park. It makes sense with NHL wanting to reward the Isles for their new arena.
That would be a good spot. And Islanders Rangers is always a good game too. So you're guaranteed to sell a ton of tickets for that in New York.
How about the mess in Chicago? Anything you would do to make the Hawks somewhat competitive or watchable? No system or talent. Kaner carries them.
For Chicago, this is what they're going through. This is part of the plan. I think for Kyle Davidson, I feel bad for Luke Richardson. He's a really good coach. He just doesn't have a team that can win that much. Max Domi has had a nice turnaround for them. Lots of chances for Athanasiou, not a lot of them going in, but he's got 6 goals thus far. With Chicago, when you're watching them, it really is about seeing how the young guys are coming along. That might involve watching some Rockford games here and there as well, just to see how the whole system's working throughout the team. But It's going to be a long season for Chicago.
You guys should do a Hockey Guy After Dark stream for April Fools, but instead of anything that Susan might label scandalous, it's just you two snoring for 8 hours. We don't snore.
Or we could just throw in the occasional good afternoon.
Gosh, if it's after dark, we could have it at like 3:30 at night.
We need to review Spirited.
Yeah, we could.
On the Entertainment Guy, not on here.
Oh, there, and then people could see the Vegas glow. There you go. It does glow really well.
I like the movie Spirited. I thought it was a good show.
Yeah, I told the boys they should watch it.
They would enjoy that movie. Absolutely, they would.
What team do I like best?
Winnipeg.
Jets or Wild? I do
Winnipeg.
usually, yeah, I do like Jets. The Wild can be a challenge to watch sometimes.
See, today's game was fun because they just kept letting Anaheim back in the game. They would dominate for 5 minutes, and then Anaheim would come down the ice and score. It was entertaining.
Oh, see, Lars knows me really well. Good job, Lars. Good answer. Good answer. Do you expect the Kraken to be buyers if they are still in playoff contention?
Yes, but I would expect it to be not like really big names necessarily. Like I don't think it'd be Taves or Kane or anything like that. But yeah, I think they'd be buyers picking up some depth, maybe moving out a couple of middling prospects or mid-round draft picks. I don't think it'll be anything major. But yeah, Seattle would be buyers at the deadline if they're still in this spot.
Why could 2023 be the year Toronto
breaks through?
Okay.
Well, see, for Toronto, they're a good team. They're a good team, and with all the first round jokes that everybody makes and all that, they're a good team. And usually in the NHL, a good team will break through and have a bit of a run in the playoffs. There have been exceptions. I wanted to do a video on dynasties and videos on teams that have been really good and could have been dynasties but couldn't break through in the playoffs. So that's something I've wanted to do. Just haven't done as of yet, but at some point I'm going to. Toronto should break through because they are a good team, and the goaltending's been good so far. So that's one thing for them, although I don't think goaltending's really cost them that much in the playoffs.
Hey, Shannon, today was rough, and I just watched one of your mental health videos on the Entertainment Guy. I feel a lot better. Thank you for talking about that type of thing.
No problem. I wanted to talk about bullying on the other channel because I felt like it was important to share that story, because I know there's a lot of people that go through it. I know it gets talked about a lot. And so I thought I would just share my experience without naming anybody, without anything like that. It's over 30 years ago that most of that stuff happened. So, but I thought it was useful to at least mention.
Would you be happy or nervous about a Boston-Dallas final?
Oh, I would be so happy. I wouldn't care who won. I would want a 7-game series. I'd want every game to go to overtime. I'd want like just this amazing back and forth final, which means it'd be a 4-game sweep. None of the games that have any tension in it. That's pretty much how it's gone most of the time when teams I watch play each other. Either it ends up being ugly or it ends up being boring. The last time Dallas and Vancouver played each other was in 2007. Boring series. Very much a boring series. As much as I love both teams, that series was a really tough watch.
Why don't you like white jerseys? I wish they still wore whites at home.
I do like white jerseys. The thing is, I'm always wearing a t-shirt underneath whatever jersey I wear, and where I wear a white jersey and I get set in front of the camera, I'm like, I can completely see every word that's on this shirt. So I don't wear the white jerseys in videos. Plus, stains are obviously something you have to worry about a lot more with white ones. So I have a lot of white jerseys, but I don't wear them nearly as often.
I don't like white jerseys. I don't have very many. Because they are see-through.
Well, I mean,
they are.
There's benefits.
Shannon.
There's internet. I know there's see-through for me too. How do you think?
I don't like because
the channel
keeps
blowing up.
And it's not like I have any white shirts. I don't think I own one white shirt.
You don't have a white t-shirt?
I don't think I do. I have a white tank top.
Oh man,
that I wear.
Your Christmas just got better, lady.
No.
I'll wrap them all individually. It's another plain white t-shirt.
I don't.
Oh my god, it's another plain white t-shirt.
Thank you. When
I
could
wear
get
like
white
10 of them.
I don't.
I'll bet you I get a discount if I
order
order 10.
Think, how many white jerseys do I even own?
Well, you're going to be getting
Jets.
one next year.
I have Jets. I have Jets in white.
I told Ben to put aside a Minnesota for you. because I think a white Minnesota would be nice.
Right. Other than that, I don't think I really own white. I don't like the white jerseys. Well, that and
So that's how
I don't
far
really have
ahead I
Adidas
plan.
jerseys either. So
So I get an email from Ben, who I get the jerseys through, and he tells me next September I'm going to be getting white jerseys. Which ones would you want? And so I told him which ones her and I would want in white jerseys next September. So that's how far ahead I plan out which jerseys I'm getting. And sometimes I pay pretty far ahead too. Where I'm like, here, and he'll be like, you sent me money. Yeah, that's for later. That's for later.
just prepay.
Prepay. Yep, it's prepay.
Otherwise, it ends up being a lot.
Here you go.
2 years in, is Kaprizov more dynamic than McDavid?
I don't know about more dynamic. I think they're both very dangerous players. The one biggest difference between the two is that Kaprizov's a winger and McDavid's a center. So McDavid as a player would always be more in demand than Kaprizov, but Kaprizov's fantastic.
Okay. Do you consider jerseys as part of your net assets? I can't say as I've ever really thought about net assets.
I really don't think
we don't
about
really
net
have
assets
enough stuff to have net assets. We don't even own a home.
What are you doing?
So net assets isn't really a thing.
What are you doing? All right, come here.
Do you own any helmets? Like NHL helmets or just hockey helmets? We've got hockey helmets.
I mean,
skating.
I could wear hockey helmets for videos, but that would look really dorky without the gloves. So, and then I'd have to be carrying a hockey stick too. Is it really this
like
time
when
of
we
day,
go
Shadow?
grocery shopping, or because yes, can't deduct jerseys from what? I don't know what that means. Do you collect hockey cards? So many hockey cards. Oh my gosh! If you guys think he has a lot of jerseys, you have no idea the amount, even of hockey cards that have never been opened. Holy hell, we've got so many hockey cards in this house. Just saying. Where do you rank Jason Robertson as one of the top players in the NHL?
Well, right now, this season, he's a top 10 player. In general, I would say top 20 is probably about where he ends up, but he is one of the most dynamic forwards in the game. Absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited that he is signed to stay in Dallas. And yeah, right now he would be top 10.
If you haven't already, you guys should get the jerseys and hockey cards appraised, at least for insurance purposes. We don't really need to get jerseys appraised that Shannon wears. It's not like they're signed or game worn or anything like that. We do have, it is part of our renter's insurance.
They're insured.
The jerseys, but we don't need them appraised. It's not that kind of collection. Nope. Yeah, we don't have that kind of collection. Do you see your Bengals making the Super Bowl again?
No, sadly, no. I don't have a lot of faith in them getting back to the Super Bowl. Not this year anyways, but I mean, anything can happen once you get in the playoffs, but I don't think the Bengals are going to be in the Super Bowl this year. Card
grading is expensive. We actually looked at it for some of the cards, and it is pricey.
Yeah.
And when they're not...
So like I've got the one Mario Lemieux that I need to get appraised, and I've got a few second year cards, but again, it's really expensive. I would rather do it locally too. I know there's places in Vancouver where I can get them appraised. So eventually I'll do that, but I'm not overly concerned with it at this point.
If they could redraft, do you think Matty Beniers would go first?
Beniers. Maybe. Again, with redrafts, it's a tricky one, especially that soon after that draft. Like I haven't done a redraft of that one, but Beniers might have been the best player in that draft class. I know he's an excellent two-way forward, which made him very attractive to Seattle. And so far, I think that's the impressive thing. He's come into the league looking like a veteran. There hasn't been really a big adjustment for him to the NHL game. Plus, he really is very good at both ends of the ice. He can make a great play offensively and then come back and steal the puck at the other end.
Do you guys have any interest in living in downtown Vancouver?
No.
Nope. Visited a couple times and love the city. No.
It's
that would be really expensive too.
Very loud, congested, and expensive.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's
not at all.
it's not my not my cup of tea.
No.
Nope.
Do you have days when you're just sick of hockey?
Yep. But it's my job. It's my job. It doesn't matter if I want a day off that day or if I'm kind of sick of it. It's part of what I do, and eventually I get through it. It usually doesn't last that long, but yeah, there are days where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's 15 games. What am I doing? But that happens with anything that you do in life, and you have to just power through it.
How tall are your kids? Taller than us. Well, Adelaide's not. The 9-year-old is not taller than us.
I don't think she's going to be either.
No,
She's
I
not
don't
gonna be
think
very
so.
tall.
Our boys are both. Last time I measured them, they were both 6 foot tall. So they tower over us, which they think is awesome.
Hi.
So they did not
How you doing?
get my height.
Hi.
How do you pronounce this name?
Kawhi.
Oh, okay. That's what I was guessing, but I wasn't sure. You think Kawhi in Toronto is an all-time great story?
I miss Kawhi with the Toronto Raptors. Kawhi, I have a jersey of his from San Antonio. That's one of, I think I only have 2 basketball jerseys. I have a Vancouver Grizzlies and I have a Kawhi. And that's it for because I have a Sharif Abdur-Rahim jersey for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Yeah, Kawhi was a great story. It's a shame that he didn't end up staying in Toronto. But yeah, that was a really great story, wasn't it, Kitty?
Would you ever consider living in Toronto? Nope.
No. Just the logistics of moving that far would be an absolute nightmare.
I like living here. I chose to live here. I like it here.
Yep.
I like not having snow all the time. I like it being all green. We can drive to snow really easily. We live by the ocean. We live by forests and mountains. It's awesome. If the Blues stay on this pace, would they ever consider moving Thomas or Kyrou?
No. Thomas and Kyrou were signed to those 8-year deals. They're not going anywhere. If the Blues end up being below the playoff line, and if it looks like they're not going to make it, Tarasenko will immediately be put on the block. They may look to move a blue liner as well. They may want to free up some future cap space. But for the Blues, Thomas and Kyrou are the future.
My friends and I celebrate Power Rankings as a weekly holiday. Thank you for the joy.
Oh, well, that's nice.
That's a way better comment than we get about Power Rankings a lot of times. So
yeah,
thank
Power
you.
Rankings often it's a divisive, and I get why it's divisive. There's times where I look at the board and I'm thinking, man, that fan base is going to be mad this week. And the fan base that's angry seems to change every week.
That's true.
So
have you ever been to a teddy bear toss game? Yes. And we're going tonight.
And she's going to one tonight too.
I'm going to take the boys.
Shannon I have
can't
not.
Because
she has.
Stupid amount of games. But
she took a video last year too, didn't you?
Didn't
you post it to the channel too?
I know.
Community page?
Was it on the community page? I know I posted it on the Facebook.
Or was it on the Facebook page?
I don't remember. I don't know. Should I post one on the community page today? Yeah, this morning I went and got stuffies for the teddy bear toss tonight. So, how likely are we to see Dubois in Montreal next year?
I would give it about 50-50 odds. He's had a decent run with Winnipeg, but I don't know that Winnipeg is going to bend over backwards for him this offseason. And I don't know that it would matter if they did. I think he probably does end up with Montreal next year.
How many cats do we have? Too many.
Yeah.
We have 5.
Yeah. They run the house, don't you, Shadow? Yes. And then we got 6 rabbits. And no, they don't fight, and it works out actually pretty well. Rabbits are easy in a group, unlike
when you come into our house, you would have no idea we have very many animals at all.
Shadow and Bear hide.
Our rabbits, other than Cinnabon, they sleep all day long in their little cat tree corner because the bunnies love their cat trees, but they're in a corner upstairs and they just sleep all day long. And then Bear and Shadow stay in here with Shannon all day. So we have the 3 cats that roam the house. So yeah, you would have no idea we have very many animals if you came. Okay. See, Nashville seems to turn things around, but Yeah, seems to turn things around, but they look yet again to be dependable on goaltending, and they win when they are getting outshot. How can Poyle not see that this team has no chance to win?
Well, I'll say this. Lankinen definitely gives them a better backup than they've had in a few years. The Nashville Predators in general, I think they have a solid 4 lines they can roll. Jeannot still hasn't really hit that level that we know that he can offensively. I really like their blue line. McDonough's fit in pretty well. It's still a work in progress, but he's fit in pretty well. And so I think that they have a bit of a chance there. And as long as they're a playoff team or in the mix, there's not much Poyle can do. It's on the team and it's on the coach to get the most out of them.
Oh, there you go. I see Lars linked the we have an Instagram account for all the animals. So if you ever want to see pictures of cats or rabbits, it's on their Instagram. It's THG Cats.
So
And
many
then
followers.
and yeah, they have way more followers than I do, but I don't post very much. And then on the Entertainment Guy is where we post the cat and rabbit videos.
Yes, like the rabbits out in the snow that you posted. Going to do that with the kittens too, but that wasn't that was anticlimactic.
It did not go well.
They
hated it.
They just ran right back in the house.
We have a lot of snow. Azrael, I tried to take her out.
She climbed on your back.
Climbed on my back, and so and then she jumped off and ran to the door.
Yeah.
And then Maple did and then ran to the door. So there was no video of the kittens in snow.
No.
And I know he hates the snow.
Yeah, but he keeps bugging to go outside every day like he thinks it's going to be warm all of a sudden.
I want out the warm door.
He will change
the other
doors.
Outside.
He goes outside, and if it's raining or it's cold or it's snowing, he'll go to a different door to outside. Like maybe it's something different out this door.
I want the other outside, the nice one.
So,
who gets your vote for NFL Defense Player of the Year? Bosa, Parsons, or Judge?
I don't know. I haven't followed it well enough this year to give an educated guess on that. Nice to see Bosa on the list, though.
Should Eisman trade Nedeljkovic, or would a better team do some good for him?
If he decides to trade Ned, there will be takers. That being said, I don't know how much value there is for him right now because his stats have not been where they need to be.
Do you think Maroon was actually offended over Edwards' remark, or is this just a way to troll Edwards back?
It's a way to troll Edwards back. I think that it takes a lot to offend professional athletes. I don't think they really care what an announcer says so much. And Jack Edwards always just rambles and he says things, and I've learned to tune him out where he'll say something and then I'll see like outrage after the game. I'm like, when did he say that? I didn't hear it. Because I'm kind of ignoring it. Goes in one ear and out the other.
The little girl holding the bunny on THG Cats is just really beautiful. Congrats. Thank you. That's our daughter. She is 9.
I cuddle.
The cat needs more cuddles. He's pretty sure.
I know.
Oh, no, I already read that one. I think favorite hockey movie.
If Happy Gilmore counts as a hockey movie, then that's a hockey movie. And then that'd be my favorite.
How cold is it here now? My hands are freezing.
It was -6 the last time I looked.
Let's see. Well, in here right now, it's 15 degrees. So it's nice and toasty.
That's about as warm as it gets in here is 15 degrees Celsius. That's about it. Oh, it's 1 degree outside.
Oh, 1.
There you go.
Certainly doesn't feel like 1.
Get the pool out. Let's go.
Keeps snowing off and on.
We could totally fill the pool and see if it ices over.
We're not.
And then I could I could put on a pair of skates and we could do a video that way.
There you go.
With me falling through the ice and having to be fished out. Hi.
What's the status on Jonathan Bernier?
Bernier, as far as I can tell, he's supposed to be reevaluated. I think it's this month or early next month. I don't know. And I don't know that the Devils know exactly what's going to happen with Bernier either. That injury, he's been out for quite some time. No idea.
Shannon doesn't do fantasy hockey. He doesn't have time. Anything new on Alex Formenton and whatever happened to Jake Virtanen?
Virtanen's playing in Europe. As for Formenton, there's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of gossip about what's going on with Formenton and why he's not signed. But he's not signed. He's not playing this season. I know there's all the talk about the 2018 World Junior team and everything that went on there. We don't know what happened there. We don't know what and who was involved, but Formenton was on that team. So everybody on that team, when something happens, I do expect people to say, "Oh, it's got to be about that." And I don't report on it because, again, it's gossipy.
Why don't you get Shadow a girlfriend? We have 4 girl cats. None of them like him, so.
Well,
Pretty
Azrael
sure.
likes him,
Well, that's true.
but he hisses at her half the time because he wants her to go away.
There you go.
Because she's really.
And we don't need more cats. We're good on cats.
He's fixed.
We're at
so
capacity.
A girlfriend, he would be of little to no use. He's fixed.
I don't think that's the only use.
I have seen a cat that's in heat, a female cat that's in heat, and a male cat trying to help that's fixed. It does not end well. It does not go well. Because Link, bless his heart, thought he could fix when Midnight went into heat. And it's like, Link, you can't, sweetie. You can't do that. You can't because you're fixed. And then she'd just get angrier. Because he'd bite her neck and do the whole thing cats do. But that's it. She's like, seriously.
Oh my
and then every time she'd yowl, and she had this horrible yowl, my daughter would yell, "Babies," because she was translating what the cat was saying.
Will you be new World Cup draw stream for 2026? Summer sometime 2025, hopefully on a day when there's no hockey.
That was asked earlier.
I know it was, but he's asked it a few more times. So
yeah, I want to, but again, it will depend on what day that it is. And again, hopefully it's not 16 groups of 3. Hopefully it's 12 groups of 4. Come on, FIFA, figure this out.
How about a dog? No.
With all these cats and rabbits, that would not work.
And children. Remember,
that would not
children.
Work.
No,
yeah,
we don't have enough time. Nope. It wouldn't be fair to a dog.
Nope.
Top 5 GMs in the NHL.
Top 5 GMs in the NHL right now. Yzerman in Detroit. Brisebois in Tampa. That's a tough one. I guess Sweeney in Boston. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it kind of has to be because the start they're off to and all that. I guess Fitzgerald in New Jersey, based on where they're at right now. And I'll still give credit to Don Waddell in Carolina, even though his magic touch seems to have changed a bit over the last 12 months. Yeah, I'll go with those 5.
Already seen people say Fantilli or
Michkov
could challenge Bedard for number 1 overall pick. Thoughts?
I haven't heard that from any of the main media sources that I use. It's Bedard's draft. We're going to hear of guys challenging him because you hear it every single year when it's draft year. But in the end, it's Bedard's draft. I would be shocked if he doesn't go first overall because his play in Regina has been excellent.
Somebody asked how far in advance you do the power rankings. He posts it as soon as he finishes
the power rankings. I am updating them right up until the last game on Saturday. I've thought about doing them on like a Saturday morning, but no. I feel Saturday night's the best time to do them, and it includes the results on Saturday as well. So I'm updating them tonight after the games get played.
Going to the Cap game on Friday, I'm hoping to catch Ovi's 800th goal. Saw his 700th goal live back in 2020. Do you think it's possible for him by Friday?
He'd need to get at least a couple tonight. So if he gets a couple tonight, sure. If he doesn't get a couple tonight, it's unlikely he has that because I think he's at 793 right now. Yeah, 793. So he needs 7 goals. I would think he needs to score at least a couple tonight and then a couple in the next game. And again, he'd have to be on quite the run. It is possible, but unlikely.
Okay. Would you say you're working your dream job, Shannon?
Yes. Although when I was a kid, the dream also included being a coach for an NHL team. But yeah, this is as close as it's going to get.
That Gary Bettman phone call was hilarious.
Thank you. That video did not It didn't perform as well as the other Bettman phone calls that I've done. I don't know why that is. Part of the reason why I sometimes am a little nervous about doing video kind of stuff that I've done before, where there can be diminishing returns. It's why I haven't done another one of those Gary Bettman's behind it all type videos where it's that overtly crazy, because I know that it's hard to replicate that.
Are the Canucks going to clean house if they don't make the playoffs again?
In a limited way, yes, but obviously you don't trade Hughes, you don't trade Demko, you don't trade Pettersson, you listen on anybody else. And again, I'm saying listen, not like actively shopping Miller, actively shopping a bunch of guys. I think they'll shop Myers. If they could get Myers' contract off the books, they'd be quite happy. And I think they'll shop Garland. I think they'll shop Besser. Outside of that, we'll see.
Oh, there's a few people here saying that they didn't even see that you did a Bettman phone call video.
It was in the thumbnail. So I had me on the phone in the video. It was I had titled it as the subscription. I reached 258,000 subscribers. And so I did that as the 258,000. So when you see a title and you're like, that's a weird idea for a video, odds are there's something in there that's not necessarily related to the title. So
there you go. Doing videos for the views. Well, yeah, that's how you get paid.
Well, that's why I don't.
Most people do work.
Like I could do career
eating to
videos
get
every
paid.
day. I could do a career video every day, and the recaps, and the channel would still do okay. But yeah, I will go to where there's more interest. I consider it not necessarily just views. I consider it interest. So it is important for me to make sure I'm putting out content that people are interested in watching. And so when I see the view counts dropping down, I go, okay, people are less interested in this. So
it can be frustrating for him to spend a lot of time making a video and then have it be one that
and then just
people
watch
don't
the view counts aren't
even want to click on it. So then he feels like it's kind of wasting his time on things that people aren't interested in.
That's why I don't do the madness boards like I used to, because the view counts were always pretty low on the madness boards. I would spend hours putting together this whiteboard of all these stats and all of everything, and then just it would be like they rank it out of the last 10 videos and be like 7th, 8th, or 9th. And I'd be like, well, this was a lot of time. And so I have to look at it as time invested versus the return on that time and make sure I have that balance.
Opinion on Kokanyemi so far this year?
Mostly a disaster. He's getting better lately. I would say the last 10 days, his games, he's been better. He's still young enough that he can turn it around, but he's being paid very highly. So once you start to get paid like that, then the expectations go up. He has not lived up to expectations so far this year.
I'm suggesting Canada will get screwed more as their ranking is lower. The US and Mexico will be top 16 or 20. Canada's brainstorming tours.
Well, the group of three, it will be interesting to see how the group of three is figured out there. I really think that over the next 4 years, Canada is going to get better and their ranking is going to get higher. I think they learned a lot from this tournament. I'm anxious to see how it works in 2026. Plus, that tournament's going to be during the summer, so I can actually watch every game, and the games will be on when I can watch them. It'll be like a World Cup. This time around, it wasn't as much fun for me because I couldn't see them.
Don't listen to Lars. I do not like Bon Jovi.
She loves
at
Bon
all. Jovi. At all. Somebody asked what music we like or what our favorite bands are.
Rammstein.
Tool.
I like Rammstein.
Tool. I really like Tool. I really like
3 Days Grace.
And Motionless in White. And yeah, Ghost is great. And there's
Perfect
lots.
Circle.
Yeah. I like lots.
Anything with Maynard in it.
Of course.
Because Pussifer would be there too.
Pussifer's
on tour. Sadly, they're not coming to Canada. Well, not to Vancouver anyways. Just sad.
Is Robertson a top 5 forward in the league?
Right now, yes. Overall, I still wouldn't have him top 5 in the league. I love Robertson. I think he's fantastic. I love being able to stomp around this room every time Dallas scores a goal, which is what I do. Because the Dallas Stars, their music has that real big thump to it because it's Pantera. And so I just pretend I'm stomping on, a random city. And so, yeah, it's fun when Dallas scores a bunch of goals and it's Robertson, but I still don't have him top 5 in the league overall.
What was the handling the puck rule on Gibson?
I think he handled it outside of the area you're supposed to handle it in. I know he had a big grin on his face after. There was only 9.4 seconds left in the overtime. Gibson was pretty temperamental today, and I understood why. But over the last couple of weeks, Gibson's been pretty physical with other teams. He really is starting to get tired of how often his crease is getting crashed. He's had enough.
You all a couple metalheads.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you listen to Nightwish?
I love
yes,
Nightwish.
Nightwish is fantastic.
Nightwish is great. Tarja might have been their best singer, although the singer they have right now is pretty good too.
Here I was thinking they were Mr. Bublé's groupies. Just kidding.
We don't really listen to Mike's. I'm sorry if Mike watches this. I'm sorry. We really
he
don't
knows that
to...
we don't listen to his music. He knows that's not our style of music.
Right.
At all.
Right.
In any way.
Although at Christmas.
Right. And the kids think it's really funny every time he comes on the radio, which is all the time. If I say, Michael Bublé, I know him.
It's one thing that when I've been listening to Spotify and I have like random, I used to do random songs and music of his would come on and I'm like, I don't know how I feel working out listening to Mike singing. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do this. I wish I could. I don't think I can listen to somebody that I've played street hockey with singing to me. I don't think I can do that.
He does have a fantastic voice.
Oh,
he is
fantastic.
Very talented.
And he's singing all the time.
Style. He does sing.
He
all the
hums
time.
and sings to himself. Yeah. I think he's like Adelaide. I don't even know if he's where he's doing it half
true.
the time.
It's true.
But yeah,
Is Dustin Brown Hall of Fame?
I would think no. I would think that for Brown to get in, you'd have a lot of guys that have been passed over so far that yeah.
Oh, Lars, that's my mom. Don't ban her. My mom has been banned a few times.
She has.
It's so hard to find her to
according
unban
to that
her.
comment, that means what we got her for Christmas is just done. What are we going to do with the Ghost DVD now?
Right. No, my mom really likes Five Finger Death Punch. That's her favorite, right?
I will say that they're a band that they know their audience. Because every album sounds like the other albums.
It's so funny. Yeah, my mom has been banned a couple times because she makes comments that yes, she did change her name on here, didn't she?
Yeah.
That's her.
But Nanan's in there. So
is it?
Did she? Nanan to Sink. So
oh, okay.
Grandmother of 5.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Where are we here? Will the Leafs make it out of the first round this year?
They can. I hope they do. This is something that's always been kind of funny. So there are people who will say, well, Shannon's happy the Leafs don't get out of the first round because, he hates the Leafs. But as I've pointed out over the years, when the Leafs do well and when the Leafs are in the playoffs, those are my most watched videos during the playoffs. So just from a business perspective, if the Leafs actually get out of the first round, that would be a huge boost for me, for the channel, just in general. So from a business perspective, I would like to see the Leafs go as far as humanly possible. The hockey fan in me would be fine with it as well, because the reality is that at this stage, it's sad to see how many years in a row Toronto's lost the big game. It's a game 7, they're done, right? So I want to see that narrative change. I want this to be the year. I really do.
Can you please do an all-name team or teams?
Yes, I can. I absolutely can. I could do one present and past as well, because there are a lot of really good names from the past. I have a Pekka Radicalio jersey, because why wouldn't I have a Pekka Radicalio jersey? 8-year-old me is ecstatic about the fact that I now have a Pekka Radicalio jersey.
Ever listen to Spirit Box? Yes.
You have.
Yeah. Excellent. Newer band from BC, Canada.
They're on that XFM, that newfangled stuff you listen to.
It's not newfangled.
And it's all that newfangled when you're listening to your Victrola while you're on the road.
Twerk. Favorite potato chip flavor, all dressed or pickle? Yes.
Cheddar.
Really?
The President's Choice cheddar chips, really good. Although dill pickle's really good too.
Yeah.
If
pickle's
it's
great.
loads of dill pickle.
Those are great.
But again, I do the treadmill a lot. If I
yeah.
eat too many chips,
Neither of us really eat them very often. It's a very, very, very rare thing.
Yeah, because then you eat the bag of chips, and you go, "Wow, I'm hungry still," and that was 50,000 calories. I'm gonna go cry on the treadmill for the next 4 hours if you need me. So I try to avoid that as much as possible.
Let's see, what was your first hockey game live?
Vancouver, Montreal, back in it was either 80 or 81. The Montreal Canadiens won that game 4-1. Canucks were wearing their, of course, beautiful yellow flying V's. Montreal wearing their iconic red jerseys, and Guy Lafleur was injured, so my dad didn't get to see him. My dad was sad that he didn't get to see Guy Lafleur. But in that game, it was, I want to say, Denny Herron against Glenn Hanlon. Hanlon had a good game, as I remember it, but yeah, the Canucks were just overmatched that night.
Which social media are you leaving soon? Shannon's not really on very many.
My Instagram, I'm locked out of my Instagram accounts. I'm not on Twitter. And so I just have my account on Facebook. Yeah. And I really honestly, I've never been a big fan of social media in general. And I don't think social media is the majority of the world's opinions, and yet it gets treated like it is. It's really bizarre to me. I get really mad when I see like an article. It's like, oh, people are angry about this. I'm like, oh, what are they angry about? And then the article's just people reading up Twitter comments.
I've had to explain that to the boys. Oh, did you know people think this? Okay, by people, do you mean two people posted on Twitter?
Random people on Twitter posted.
People think this.
And then it gets turned into an article.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's not the majority opinion just because 3 people on Twitter said, what in the world are you talking about? So yeah, social media is just, it's so overrated.
Flames too big and strong for the rest of the league.
And according to my power rankings, they're too big and strong to win lately. So that's been an issue. They might want to get a little bit, they might want to lighten up a little bit and work on the scoring part of things.
What rink do you want to go to the most? How many total have you been to? Like,
Anaheim,
do you mean NHL arenas?
We've been to Honda Center.
Because if you're talking rinks, lots.
We've been to Rogers. The rink I'd most like to go to, I'd actually like to go to one here and just skate around, get stick and puck, and just play around, mess around a bit. I don't know if we rent ice for that or what we're going to do. But at any rate, the one I'd most like to go to, I would love to go to Boston and go to TD Center, but I don't know when that's going to happen. I know we're not going to any fancy arenas this year, so
fancy. No, you're not a huge fan of the Habs, but do you have a favorite Habs player of all time, excluding current Habs players?
Well, I know I did a favorite Habs of all time video. I'm just going to think off the top of my head. My favorite to hate would have been Patrick Waugh. Patrick Waugh still, to me, is the best money goaltender I've ever seen in the playoffs. He was so good in elimination games. He was so good in overtime. The 93 run was really what, to me, solidified him as one of the all-time greats. And then he went to Colorado, and he was just as good in 96 and in 2001. So, that would probably top the list for me with favorite, even though at the time I was not a big fan of Patrick Waugh because I didn't like him knocking out Boston. That was something I generally didn't like people that knocked out the Bruins, and he did it on occasion.
What's the best hockey season you've experienced?
My favorite hockey season, 93-94 was an excellent year, and it's not just because the Canucks went to the final. Just those playoffs were so fun. All over, and just some really, really good, some really good games, teams, and some unpredictability in there as well. The Canucks run definitely helped, but yeah, 93-94 would probably be my favorite season.
Lars is on top of it today.
Holy
moly, I know, but wow.
Yep.
Good job, Lars.
Yep.
I don't know how he does stuff so
I'm going to double his pay. That's going to come out of your pay, though. I'm sorry.
Which NHL team has the brightest future?
I think Buffalo's future is pretty bright. I also think that Detroit has the makings of being an absolutely fantastic team. The one that I do wonder about is Kosa and net. Outside of that, because again, with goaltenders, it can be really unpredictable. But man, their prospects are on track. Edvinson's going to be great. Soderblom's going to be great. They're going to be dangerous for a long time.
You started the stream early enough that Lars is awake. That's true.
Lars
is awake for a lot of the live streams, though sometimes I will comment about, shouldn't you be in bed?
True. That is very true.
Oh my gosh, it is really cold.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, another dip into Yvonne's pay. Zadorov better than McDavid, faster too.
He's bigger. Montreal does have a bright future. I saw that comment in there. They also have a pretty bright present with guys like Suzuki, Caulfield, Gooley, Jack-Eye. Yeah, there's a lot to like with the Montreal Canadiens right now when it comes to young players.
Devils for bright future?
Yeah, and present. Like the present for New Jersey, I think this is their time now. We'll see how far they can go and for how long. What is your deal? What is your deal? But yeah, New Jersey's in a pretty good spot right now. I know. You would think I never pay attention to him.
He's a neglected cat.
Yeah,
clearly.
Certainly.
He's very neglected.
Yeah.
Our poor cats. They never get attention. Ever.
Do you not get any attention?
Bear is on the tree. Just there's a tree and then there's another tree.
Yeah.
Bear's on the other one.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the Caps?
The Caps, injuries. A lot of injuries to key players, and they're an aging team as well. So I think it really is a matter of them regressing a bit. Now we'll see. Tonight's game's a big one. They could get back to 500 if they win that one in Calgary. Of course, the big game for Calgary too. I wouldn't write off Washington yet, but there was an expectation that Washington could fall back, and I would think that age combined with injuries are a big part of that.
Do you think the Flames will turn it around?
Yes. I would be very surprised if the Flames don't turn it around. The Flames may not be as good as advertised, but they're better than what their record has been so far. So I would be very surprised if they don't turn it around.
Seattle Kraken wins the Cup. Wins it this year?
I don't know about this year. I will say this: Seattle with 7 wins in a row. Anybody who's just taking them lightly or shrugging off this winning streak is going to be, I think, proven wrong. I think that they're a really solid, well put together team, and I think this winning streak has been legit. But they have to stick with it, and the style of hockey they're playing, it can be tough to play that over long periods because it requires a ton of effort and really, really smart play. You have to be very disciplined.
Hello from Scotland. Came for the hockey, stayed for the banter. Which are my cats? Well, I think they're all our cats, but yeah, our cats have kind of picked humans, haven't they?
Shadow really is just my cat.
Yes, Shadow doesn't really care about me at all.
Or the kids.
And when I go to pet him, he cowers. You would think I'd beat him. Bear likes me at night. Not so much during the day, but I have the other 3 follow me around all the time. So
Azrael trades off between the 2 of us.
Pixel is definitely my cat. She always follows me, but Maple and Azrael have started following me a lot too. All the time. I cannot shut a door.
If Maple comes in here, I know Yvonne is not home.
Right. Which cat's the friendliest? Not these 2. Probably no.
Pixel.
Yeah, Pixel. Azrael's a little bit skittish. These 2, Shadow and Bear, if anybody ever comes over to our house, they do not see them. They are terrified of strangers. They have started teaching Azrael to be afraid of people. So she's a little bit skittish.
She doesn't know why.
Right.
She has no idea why she's scared.
Pixel likes everybody. She will come to the door to greet
Maple just
people.
doesn't care.
Yeah. Maple
Maple's the queen of indifference.
She
Where
is.
that's
But
concerned.
she likes to be near me though.
Yes.
She does. She's a good cat. It's funny. They're all different. There's okay. Updates on relations between Azrael and Shadow. Azrael wants to play all the time, and Shadow does not always want to play, but they get along fairly well.
He plays with Maple on the stairs.
Yes, it's cute.
But he has a limit. So he'll play for a little while and then he turns into an old man and he starts hissing like that's enough.
Azrael acts like a toddler. She's very much a toddler.
And she'll put the run on Bear because she knows Bear won't fight back. I've started getting Bear to fight back because he only had to swat Azrael a couple of times and now she doesn't bother him. Bear has to kind of do the same thing or else Azrael's going to run her out of the house.
Can we see a pic of you in your 20s at some point? Shannon doesn't like to do pictures of younger him.
No, although I was
really
pointing
doesn't.
out, I showed you a picture from 20 years ago last night, and I really don't look any different.
No, he
not
he
noticeably.
Really
I'm actually.
I think your
skinnier.
Face, yeah, I was gonna say your face looks skinnier than you were when you were younger.
I was working in a call center, so yeah.
He had rounded.
You're sitting down all the time, and the cafeteria sells really good food. Yeah, it's gonna happen. So,
but other than that, he really looks the same.
And it's genetics, so I have to fight that every single day.
That's why he runs.
That's why the treadmill is here, because otherwise I wouldn't be happy.
What's your opinion
of Delia?
Okay, can you win a game or two for the Canucks? Martin is playing okay, but I wonder if Demko's injury means game over.
I think with Demko, I think that with the 6 weeks, it's going to be a challenge for them to stay on at all. And this is a team that's already 3 games below 500. I think this is going to force the hand of management. Delia is not bad. He's not a bad goaltender, but he is a number 3. He is a guy you call up when there's an injury. And so Martin's probably going to play a lion's share of games. I do wonder, as he plays more games, if we're going to see teams getting a book on him and we start seeing his numbers drop off. For Vancouver, I think it was already game over. I don't think there's much hope for them to make the playoffs now as it is. And so, it is what it is. I'm kind of just riding it out. Whatever happens from here is fine. Just I hope they don't throw away the baby with the bathwater.
Shannon runs on his treadmill almost daily. I mean, today, like Saturdays, he really can't because there's not a big enough break.
Hockey all day.
But other than that, he runs every day.
It's about an hour I do every day. And then I'll watch like episodes of The Office. I'm watching The Peripheral too. Once I get to the end of that series, I'll do a review on the other channel of whatever it is that The Peripheral is.
Is that woman Shannon's wife?
Ooh, you're that woman. Nice.
Oh.
Hey, it's that woman. How you doing?
Shannon.
Hi.
Hey.
Well, she's not my wife. I'm in trouble. So we'll put it that way.
Last I checked, I was his wife. Yeah. So
I've given her like 8 wedding rings too. So she has as many wedding rings to cycle through as I do.
But they don't they don't fit. So this one fits me. He got me new wedding rings because my rings didn't fit.
Yeah. So I got you a new set.
So he has got me new rings twice because my other rings didn't fit.
So it's all a plan of hers.
But now my other rings I wear on other hands, other fingers. So there you go.
Multiple hands. Interesting.
I have 2.
No, but the way you said you put on other hands, meaning maybe more than 2 hands. So.
How much time did it take you to get comfortable with being part of the channel and live streams? Oh, there was quite a while I stayed off screen. Like I helped with the live streams, but I stayed off screen because people online are horrible.
There was a lot of negativity when I started dating her even.
Yeah. In the beginning and when the channel was a lot smaller, people were really awful to me.
Yeah, it was really bad.
That would make Shannon really upset. So we really kept me off of the screen for a long time just because people were so terrible. And now that the channel is a lot bigger, or that's what it seems. With the channel being bigger, the comment section is a lot easier. We do also have a lot of mods. But people don't seem to be as big of jerks with the channel being bigger. Maybe. I mean, right.
I banned people.
Our list of banned people is ridiculously long. That's why when people ban my mom, it's really hard to find her because we have so many banned people. But gosh, I'm trying to think how long it was before I even went on screen for live streams. It was a long time that I stayed. Like we would have him on the camera, and then it was around the same time as when
I realized that for me to be able to do this and have the channel continue to grow, you had to be a part of it. I couldn't do all of it myself.
Well, in the live stream, I had to help with the live streams pretty early on, just because
there were so many people and so many comments and everything.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't look at all of the comments and read them at the same time. But yeah, it took a while. People have nothing better to do than be nasty. True. Oh, it's still we definitely get the comments still.
True. But the difference is the stuff that I would get upset about in the comments, I don't care anymore. I just move on.
Keep up the good work, you too.
Thank you.
Other commenters in this community also stand up to toxic people.
Yes.
It's got
definitely changed.
A lot better.
It's definitely changed.
I think just in general, people aren't as accepting of people being assholes online, and people know that we don't put up with it and we will delete and ban. We are just fine with banning people. And we don't have very high threshold for.
There are accounts that have argued with me on this channel for over 5 years. I've never banned or even thought about banning because I'm like, all right, here he's again. I'm doing it. All right. I know he's going to disagree with me, but it's fine. So it's just, there's a certain line. There's people that cross it. They know they're crossing it. And I'm like, all right, they know they're going to get banned. I know the drill. And and so that's what happens. So I think Cole Perfetti's going to be an all-time playmaker. Seems to have great vision on the ice. Perfetti is an excellent top six forward. I think that in Winnipeg, he could become one of the better playmakers. Because he's in Winnipeg, he won't get as much attention there as he would in one of the other Canadian markets. But yeah, he is an elite level player.
Are some people jealous of your jersey collection?
Oh, I would say so.
There definitely is that for sure.
I know there are some people that are. But I mean, it's a collection that I've had going for a long time. So it's not like I just woke up one day and it was there. It took a lot of time, and it's something that's there. At some point in time, I'll decide to,
I'm jealous of your cat collection
downgrade
also.
It.
What about the bunny collection? I've told our daughter before that when she goes into their little area with the lettuce and they just climb on her lap, that she's living so many people's dream that people would just be thrilled to be able to have bunnies just come up to them.
Yep.
But yeah, we have sweet cats. Yvonne, who are your favorite all-time players? Oh gosh, I don't know. So I am a different kind of hockey fan. I don't really focus so much on specific players. I just enjoy watching the game more. I've always liked goalies. Goalies have always been my favorite. But yeah,
you're in luck. I've got a lot of goalie pictures.
Yeah, I do really like goalies. They've always been my favorite.
A lot of goalie pictures.
But I've never been
Fabell,
super interested in specific players. There are players that I enjoyed watching. Like there's right now, there's a lot of Jets players that I really like watching.
Patrick
They're
Roy,
great. They're really fun.
Reggett,
but
Jean Gilbert.
Yeah, those are Funko Pops. They're NHL.
Eddie Jockman.
Or where? Yeah, over there. Got the
Kurt
NHL
McLean,
ones.
Frank Caprice.
Those aren't all of them. We have a few more. Just a couple more.
Yeah, I've got the Wayne Simmons is next to the TV.
Well, I think we have two in the other room.
Yeah, there's Marshawn and Riley are there.
Can you see them?
I don't. Yeah, you can kind of see them right up in
Yeah.
here. Kind of see them. But yeah, we've got a bunch.
Yep, we don't have, well, not a ton or anything like that, but
Yeah, Frank Caprice. I got a picture of him off eBay. I was like, Frank Caprice. Yeah, I can buy that picture because, of course, didn't play that long, but I liked him in Vancouver. Didn't matter that he wasn't a great goaltender for Vancouver. All I knew was he was a goalie willing to play for the Canucks, which at the time that was a form of bravery because you're going to be against Gretzky a lot and you're going to allow a lot of goals.
what does the Wild need to make it past the first round?
Well, I mean, they would have got out of the first round last year, but they lost focus. It really is a matter of better play from their best players and just being tough enough for that. I think that's part of the reason they went out and got Ryan Reeves is just add a little bit of sandpaper in that bottom six.
Hello, man. Love your unpopular Broder opinion.
You know, it's funny, the Broder opinion video and the fact it still has legs. The funniest thing to me is I still say Broder is the third best goaltender I've ever watched out of all the goaltenders I've ever seen. So I just have him behind Raw and Hasek, and people get mad at me about it. It's like, I'm not saying Broder was bad. I'm saying that I think the best goalie in the era I've watched is Patrick Roy. I'd have Hasek number 2. If Hasek had played in North America the whole time, he would be number 1. He didn't come over to North America until I think he was like 28. But yeah, I have Broder at number 3. He was an excellent goaltender. But yeah, people get mad at me about that. They don't like it, and they don't like me pointing out that I think there was some good fortune for Broder as well when it comes to the wins and just the overall numbers. And people take it as I'm insulting. I'm not trying to insult Broder. I'm just saying this was my opinion on it.
What's your favorite reverse retro? Mine's the new Buffalo. We don't have them all yet,
though. Of the
though.
ones that I have, I would probably still have Calgary at the best of the ones that I have, but we don't have the Florida one yet.
Right. So we're
The
still
Florida
missing
one,
a third of them.
I think the Florida one's going to end up being my favorite.
And it is kind of hard to just judge them off of the pictures online because some of them look a lot nicer in person.
Like the Caps. Washington's looks much better.
It does. It does. I really like the Oilers.
Because on TV, I was like, there's a lot of black
really
in there.
nice.
Like, I didn't think it looked that good. I was like, oh, I'm really surprised. It's kind of bland. But in person, it looks a lot better.
Yeah, there's some fun ones. Thanks for the stream. Keep up the good work. He will do a video with his opinion of the reverse retros
once we've got him.
After he has all of them.
Once we've got him, yep. 18 to 6.
Kipper in your top 5?
No. I could do something on that. I wouldn't have Kiprasov in the top 5. Kiprasov was an elite goaltender, but to me, it was kind of like similar to Marcus Naslund here in Vancouver. Elite, but for short periods. And so the overall body of work throughout Kiprasov's career wouldn't be as impressive as those 2 or 3 seasons he was really, the absolute best. And so, yeah, Kiprasov would probably end up in the top 10, top 20, but not top 5.
Do you have the San Jose reverse retro yet?
I do. And I will say this, it's Sharks, Seals, but it's a Seals color that's not the same as all the other Seals jerseys I have. So I was like, well, I could just wear a normal Seals hat with it. Nope, they clash. So I'm still waiting on the Sharks hat that will match that jersey.
Harold Schneps. My hero is a 10-year-old defenseman. My favorite Canuck defenseman.
What people liked with Schneps was that he was an everyman. He just seemed like a normal guy you'd sit and have a beer with and talk hockey with. Very popular player, very likable, and yeah, Schneps was very popular. But I do need to get going. We've got 7 games getting started in a couple of minutes here. So thanks, guys, for coming out. It was great. We always have one on Christmas Day anyways, because we understand that some people may not have family and things to do on Christmas Day, might feel a little bit down. And so we always do a Christmas live stream for that purpose. We will be here for Christmas this year. So yeah, we'll be doing that.
This year, we don't ever go anywhere.
We were in Vegas the one Christmas.
That one time.
Yeah.
Oh,
and next Christmas, it's possible we would be doing that in Vegas. possible.
No, because we have Adelaide next year.
So we take her with us.
And
It'll be fine.
children. I'm not taking 3 kids to Vegas. I'm not doing it.
I didn't say 3 kids. Anyways,
Are we leaving the boys at home and just
they'll be fine.
the house is
We'll
fine
just
when
tell
we get home?
them we're going out. We'll be back in a few minutes, and they won't even notice.
They wouldn't. They'd
So-
just be on electronics the whole time.
Anyways, thanks guys for coming out. It's great, and yeah, we will do this again soon. I'm thinking about doing one as well before Christmas Day, but we'll see. Thanks for coming out, and enjoy the games tonight.